What's going on YouTube, and welcome to Fresh Comic Stories. This is the channel where we cover different kinds of comic book stories from Marvel, DC, and even IDW as well. Today, we are going to cover Batman Adventures. The Adventure Continues. And so this series is a brand new title that dropped this year. Now this is basically what the title says. Batman Adventures, The Adventure Continues. This book continues the adventure of Batman from the hit 1990s TV show Batman the Animated Series, where you had Batman, Tim Drake Robin, and Barbara Gordon Batgirl as a team. Nightwing was in the TV show too, but he does not appear in this story or the next one either. Now there is a good reason why, because some things happened in an earlier comic book series that was based on this same TV show, but in this series, only focusing on Batman, Batgirl, and Tim Drake Robin it seems so far. Now this is where we pick up with Batman fighting against Bane, where this is not really important at all. It's just a way to start this story off, because how cool is it to see Batman fight one of his villains? Now Batman is able to defeat Bane pretty easily, like it only takes about 3 double splash pages for him to defeat Bane and move on with his night. Now when Batman thinks his night is over for him, that is when he sees a robot attacking Gotham, just this giant robot smashing throughout the city, where of course you have Batman know he has to jump in and stop this robot before he wrecks the city. Now while Batman is trying to stop this robot, that is when we see someone is watching this battle from a far distance, and we get our first look at our mysterious character. Now we already know this is Red Hood. This title was launched as a way to bring in Red Hood in this universe, because in the old TV show it went Dick Grayson to Tim Drake as Robin, making it seem like there was never a Jason Todd. But hey, here he is now. Now we see this robot go to Wayne Enterprise and just breaks into the building and wrecks everything in the building. Now of course, Batman jumps in to stop this robot, except when he jumps in, Batman sees the robot grabbing a container, and Batman knows there is something important in that container that must be protected. And so you have Batman try to stop this robot, and of course, this giant robot is giving Batman a challenge, because Batman was not prepared to battle a robot today. And so you have Batman lose this battle, and the robot is able to get away with the container from Wayne Enterprise. This is where we see Batman go back to the Batcave, and we see that Batman is in the Batcave trying to figure out who made the robot. Now this is where you have Bruce tell us what's inside the container the robot stole. Superman brought Bruce Wayne alien tech for Batman to run a test on, and that's all we get, because Alfred reminds Bruce he has to be at some kind of dinner for the night. The reason why Alfred was so big on Bruce going to this dinner is because Bruce's ex-girlfriend Veronica Freeland is also at the dinner. And this is Alfred trying to get Bruce to get back out there in the dating world. Except of course, Bruce is playing the friend zone card on her and just trying to keep her away from his crazy Batman life. Now this leads to Lex Luthor appearing at the dinner as well, and this is the same Lex Luthor from the Superman animated series, because the Superman show in the 90s was in the same universe as the Batman show that was going on in the 90s as well. But you have Lex Luthor in Gotham for the first time since the Batman and Superman animated movie that came out in the 90s as well. A lot went on in the 90s, except you have Lex Luthor mention to Bruce Wayne that Superman is missing, because Lex Luthor brings up how Batman failed to stop the robot from the other night. If Superman was there, the robot would have been beaten, except Superman is missing, because Lex Luthor has tech to track Superman when he is flying around. and Superman has been missing for a while now, and so this makes Batman worried. And so, of course, Batman checked to see if Superman was missing, and of course, he is. Except Bruce does not focus solely on finding Superman. His goal is to find the robot, because the robot could be tied into finding Superman. And so he goes to this warehouse to see if he can find the robot. Where of course he does find the robot and begins to look for clues on how the robot works. Also trying to figure out who made this robot in the first place. And this leads to Batman seeing that whoever made the robot was there earlier. Also was trying to crack open the container that the robot stole earlier, except he had no luck opening it at all. But you still have Batman looking for more clues. That is when he gets attacked from behind by Lex Luthor in his super armor suit. This is where we see Lex Luthor grab Batman, and this is where we see what kind of alien tech is inside the container the robot stole. And we come to find out that it is the brain of Brainiac. Now in this universe, Brainiac is a robot, but Lex Luthor's goal here is to learn about advanced technology and other things about the universe. Now Batman tells Lex that the brain of Brainiac has been wiped. And he knows this because Bruce Wayne had people at Wayne Enterprise run tests on the robot. They got nothing from the robot at all. Except you have Lex Luthor state that he can do more than what the boys at Wayne Enterprise can do. Now, like most bad guys in comics, after Lex Luthor tells Batman everything about what he is trying to do, you have Lex Luthor move forward with the idea of killing off Batman. Where of course we all know that Batman is not going to die here. And so you have Batman throw a batarang at the head of Brainiac and turn on the head of Brainiac to be able to shoot a blast at Lex Luthor, which makes Lex Luthor fly away and Batman to run back to the Batcave so he can come back with a better plan. This is where you have Batman go to the Batcave. And while he is getting his wounds patched up, you have Batman bring up the Bat Armor suit to go toe to toe with Lex Luthor's suit. Also to stand a chance to fight against the robot as well. Except that is when you have the Bat computer run multiple tests on the robot design. Where you have Alfred state that there are 2 cockpits in the robot. Except that is when Bruce realized that the second cockpit is not really a cockpit. It's really a battery, and this leads to Batman rushing out. That is when we jump over to Lex Luthor and his assistant on a cargo plane trying to fly away and get back to Metropolis. Except that is when you have Batman appear and start attacking the plane, trying to stop Lex Luthor and get to the robot. Now this leads to a quick first battle in the sky with Lex Luthor using his battle armor to fight against Batman in his battle armor. Except you have Lex Luthor retreat quickly and run back to get the giant robot, which of course he gets inside the robot. And this leads to Lex Luthor shooting out of the plane in the giant robot, and this begins the second battle in the air between Lex Luthor and Batman. Except you have Batman shoot the giant robot with a batarang, and that shoots an electric shock that has a trace of kryptonite in it. And this is where we learn that Superman was trapped inside the robot. He was under some kind of mind control, and that Lex Luthor was using Superman as a super battery to power up the robot. Except when Batman hit the robot with a shock that had some kryptonite, broke him out of the mind control, where this leads to Superman just destroying the robot and then grabs Lex Luthor, and this wraps up the first story. Except before we close this book, we once again get another look at the main bad guy of this whole series, which is Jason Todd. And we see him walking around Crime Alley. But the book closes stating the next story is introducing Deathstroke, who we never saw in the TV shows either. Also that Jason Todd is planning to bring down Batman. And this is where we are going to end today's story. And so, guys, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe for more comic book videos like this in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here, and I will see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.